Hi, you guys. Greetings. My name is Jabella Banks.
My name is Season Alexander.
My name is Avery Willis.
Hi, my name is Jesse Pratt Lopez.
Angie.
Cortez Wright.
Maya Wiseman.
Jeffrey Martin.
My name is Taylor Alexander. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her. I am one of the co-founders and executive director of Southern Fried Queer Pride. What SFQP means to me is family.
Every time I go to an SFQP event, I feel like I'm walking into a family reunion. I always see somebody that I know, and not only somebody that I know, but someone that understands me and has some shared experience.
SFQP to me means community, support, being there for all my fellow queer, loving, sharing, and caring all in one space.
SFQP is the form of community that I didn't really get to have as a kid. When I moved to Atlanta and I went through college, I started going to SFQP things. I made all of these friends that I know are people that are gonna last, that are gonna be there for my entire life. They're people I can depend on in emergency situations, but they're also the people that I wanna call to tell good news.
Just thinking about this space and the events that have happened over the past 7 years, knowing who I was back when I was little, these access points are just important and impactful for young folk.
SFQP for me is a possibility for Black and brown, queer and trans people to build and create the space they need, to build and create the opportunities that they need, and to see themselves reflected in the art that we consume on a daily basis.
SFQP to me means a damn good time. It's that simple. Like, whenever SFQP is on the bill, people are excited, and I feed into that. But also, it just means my artistic integrity getting paid. If SFQP is involved, I'm gonna step into somewhere and my time and my money is respected.
7 years ago in 2014, SFQP was founded out of a lack of resources, representation, and just general mirrors to see ourselves reflected in community, whether it's being Black and brown, being from the South, being a working artist. And from all those mirrors and lacking of resources, we built SFQP into what it is today, which is a 40 to 50 event nonprofit organization throughout the entire year, and so much more.
For the past 7 years, I've been working on the community and outreach aspect of Southern Fried Queer Pride. I help curate and facilitate our forums and discussions.
In 2017, I was introduced to SFQP. I walked into Murmur Gallery as a baby queer. I walked into an SFQP racism in the queer community discussion, and it really opened my eyes to the nuances in the queer and trans community. And I thought it was so powerful that grassroots organization was creating spaces for these conversations, and ever since then I kind of was empowered and radicalized to get involved in my larger community.
That familiarity with each other is important when you have folks coming together to discuss important issues around transformative justice and racism, transphobia.
The main events that I put on for SFQP are the Let's Eat dinners. When I tell people about SFQP, I like to say, that we are a real community-centered organization. That's what I say time and time again, because I think so many places and things that I've seen being done in the city of Atlanta are just around kind of getting people's money and getting them in and out.
We got a whole generation of people who don't know who they are, who don't know where to go. The only spaces they have are toxic as hell and don't really support them, and they fall into this false idea of identity.
SFQP to the South, it means accountability, it means representation, and it means flavor.
SFQP is so important for the South, and specifically for Atlanta, that often touts itself to be the queer and Black Mecca of the South, but there is often not enough resources given to Black and queer and trans people and organizations.
The South is home to truly the most queer and trans people in the country. It's a space that provides a home for people who often feel ostracized from other queer spaces, from other spaces geared towards trans people. It is a space that really allows us to explore who we are, to learn more about ourselves, and to really practice what liberation looks like in reality.
What do we want? And say, when do we want it?
To our communities, having a space is not just a place to congregate and to see each other, but it's to know that we have a place to call home. And so many people in our community wake up every single day wondering if they have a place to find family. And this is what this space means to SFQP. It means a place where no matter who you are in this city, you know you have a place where you can come and see yourself reflected and you can feel loved.
It's not for us, it's for you. It is for everyone. It's for the person that really misses seeing someone that they care about on a daily basis. It's for the people that don't have a place where they feel they can be their truly authentic selves, because that's what SFQP does already in all of the spaces that we take over. And by building this community space specifically for us and by us, we are making that safe space intentional and permanent. Having a permanent space means that we get to determine the accessibility. We get to make sure that every door is ramp accessible. We get to make sure that any seating that is put out is made able for people to enter and exit as they need, but not just the physical accessibility, also the emotional, the societal. We are making a space where people can show up as they are without having to change themselves or redirect within a space.
And really, SFQP genuinely cares about people's well-being and wants them to continue to follow the events and what are going on. And even, during COVID, we were able to keep people together digitally and have been able to continue to keep people together however they feel safest. And I think no matter what challenges are happening in the present and in the future, us having space is still huge and super important, just to know that, yeah, I want it to be like somebody's auntie's house, where the door is always open and you can come over and get a glass of lemonade and shoot the shit with your friends.
To ensure that we aren't just moved around with anything that happens in our economy. A lot of the things that have occurred during the pandemic and the impact points that our communities have always said, they've always existed and they've been amplified because of a lot of these circumstances. So just ensuring that we have something that we can lean on in the community, knowing that we're the queer gay mecca of the South, is something to kind of keep in mind and inspire folks to support us in achieving that goal.
Atlanta is one of the heaviest population of Black, queer, trans people in general. Why do we not have our own space?
Although we've been grateful and lucky enough to have been in different spaces around the city, having our own space is stability. It's a home, it's a shelter for people, and a way for us to expand and provide more spaces and services for queer people in the South.
Because it would, in all honesty, be a one-of-a-kind space in the South. There are not that many queer and trans community centers in the South in general, let alone spaces that are specifically built for and by Black and brown, queer and trans people.
Community and housing can't exist without each other. You need both in order to survive as a human being, but especially as a queer and trans person, especially for southern rural folks who have even less access to community because of the concentration of resources in cities.
I think it would be like the highest form of validation to be able to have a real sanctuary to bring people together.
We're able to take all of the things that we miss and that we love from these DIY venues that aren't really there anymore, and we're gonna make them come back. We're bringing back everything that everybody missed. The way that we're able to have people from all walks of life walk in. The way that we're able to ensure that there are interpreters, or there are safe spaces or quiet spaces. So there's this idea, this stereotype that the South is all homophobic, all racist, like everything is terrible all the time. And I think it really discounts all of the work that organizers are doing. Black and brown organizers, queer organizers, trans organizers. We are working our hardest to make our lives better, to make the lives of everyone around us better. And we are these beautiful pockets down here that just kind of get written off. And SFQP is a really visible form of that activism and of that community care.
SFQP is mostly a volunteer-run organization. MonteQarlo used to say that Black, queer, and trans folks are creating culture in their backyards, and I feel like that's integral to what SFQP has done for Black, queer, and trans folks and the larger queer and trans community, which is why we felt it more than appropriate to name SFQP Future Community Center the Clutch Community Center after our late chef and friend MonteQarlo. So people should help SFQP because you need to stop giving your money to these federally funded organizations without doing your research, and instead look a little deeper at the organizations that are really doing the work on the ground, like SFQP.
We've already raised so much, but we need so much more just to have a little sliver of land in this city.
By building this physical space that is ours, that is permanently ours, it means that we don't have to change as the world changes around us.
And we need your help.
We need your help.
To build that future where we can be accountable to each other, where we can provide mutual aid to each other, where we can really grow as people, both individually and collectively.
Since launching the campaign in June of 2020, we have raised over $135,000 towards this community space, and that is beautiful. And we thank everybody who has made that amount possible. But what needs to happen next is more people connecting and sharing and pitching in to make this a reality. It takes a village to build community, and we truly believe that we have the power to do so.